Oh man, is it a party in here? All right. Are you gonna do the Fulla 2? Zeos, you gonna do the Fulla 2, Fulla 2, Fulla 2, Fulla 2, Fulla 2, Fulla 2? Fuck! Yes, I'm gonna do the Fulla 2. Here it is. 110, I think? $110 with shipping? Don't remember. Bought it in like a flash panic. Like, oh my god, Fulla 2, bye! So, I should probably break it. Now, the Fulla 1 was tiny. Pico Fulla 1. And I actually sold mine because I really had no use for it. My phone wasn't powerful enough to really drive it, and so on and so forth. And it sat in a box, and it was worth the whatever I sold it for, $45, I think. So the 2 is not... It's Pico. It is adorable. Like, this looks like, any of you that's seen Fooly Cooly, the thing she was feeding at the end. This is like when it was in its baby stage. This is what it looks like. I want to feed it cell phones. Now, so the Fulla 1 was their first DAC-AM combo. Then the Jotunheim came, and that was their second DAC-AM combo. So this is their third DAC-AM combo. And they've done a lot of things that I really, really like. And you're going to really, really like them. But I'm going to get into like the Quirkberg here. The Schiit quirk, Fulla quirk. All right. Holes in the sides for venting or to look cool. Probably venting. Holes on the top for venting because it does get a little bit warm. Front here is a line in and your 1/4-inch headphone out. You get a pre-out, a variable pre-out, and a full-time line out. And then you get power-only USB and USB data USB. And you would use the power one when you're using a phone. If you have this hooked up to your phone, obviously you're not carrying this around. The Fulla 1, maybe you get away with carrying it around. Fulla 2, not so much. I mean, I can't see cock rings going around your phone in this. It'd just be great. I'd love to see it. Show me. But you need to have the extra power, so you need this and a little battery pack, and then your phone, and you just duct tape it all together. So you can plug it in and use it with just USB. Here. Like the modified X1s, they're making their debut. I think these are the, what's it called, pads? Ori pads. Oh, the only ones that work. Just plugged in, and we look for the power indicator. And there is none. There's no light. Schiit has a nice little white light that they put on every unit to show that it's on. And I approve of that. But not the Fulla 2. Fulla 2 ain't got jack shit. So I don't know if this is working or not. And I remember when I plugged it in, I'm like, okay, it's working. I guess that's fine. It's not, but I guess that's fine. And even a little, like, glowing in something, anything. Tell me, are you working? No. And she's working right now, and I could plug in K712s. One Punch Man's on. And it's nice and clean and clear. And I'm on the K712s to get this decently loud bit to like halfway on this. That's good. It's good looking. A little louder. Okay, now there's a little bit of distortion at like there. Whatever percentage you want that to be. So, okay. They have enough power and they're clear, nice and clean down here. Good low end response, everything's fine. So let's unplug this headphone now. And plug in another headphone. Unrecoverable playback error, unknown error. Now I know what the error is. When you pull out a USB, a 3.5 millimeter, you ground out between the left and right because there's 3 pins that are in here that touch the ground and the right ring and the left ring. When you pull out, things touch both at the same time. And usually you do it, nothing happens on every device I've ever had. Not the Fulla 2. Fulla 2 decides that it's going to now have an unrecoverable playback error. And all you got to do is close this and plug it back in and hit play again. Oh, it's not working now. Unplug the device entirely. Plug the device back in. Now try again. Oh, that one. Whoa, loud. X1's blowing up at 1 o'clock. Yeah, X1s are loud at 10 o'clock. But did you notice that I can, if I cut the volume down, I could unplug this just fine. If I put the volume up and then pause the music, I can unplug this just fine. But if something is playing with the volume up and I unplug it, she shorts out and freaks the unit out. Lower it, plug it back in. Let's see if it'll work right now. No. Unplug, replug, try again. Works fine. The solution to this, other than yelling at shit via service calls, is to take the USB, the extra power that's usually for your phone, which I have a USB hub up there next to the girls, and it's for this laptop. I'm using this laptop, so this is a completely separate USB power source, and I could just plug that in. And it doesn't add any. I figured I was, testing it out with the Mark IIIs. I figured maybe it would fire. I figured maybe it would, get a little more power out of it. Not really. But what it's doing is it's taking over the power aspect from this laptop, and now it's coming just from up there. So now, if it's playing and I unplug something real slow, I hear it go to mono as the thing's ground out, but it comes out and goes in just without any problem. It's a quirk. That's a quirk. There's no power indicator, fine. You can't unplug the headphones. And I'm not just a 1/4 inch. If I plug it from here, if I unplug it from the headphone, anywhere there's a contact, any short, makes it go out. Now, I'm not sure if it's just mine. I'm sure 10% of the people who are watching this video right now already own the Fulla 2. And if you have it plugged in with one USB, please pull out. If you pull out real fast, it avoids it. Like, you literally get it up in both hands and just be like, and you'll miss it. Plug it in, But if it does to yours too, please comment that it does. If it doesn't, then maybe it's just my unit. I got the special one, special unit. Now, let's switch over again. Another set of headphones, and now volume down. So if you only have one, and you don't need the second one, as long as you volume down or pause the music, you can unplug it without a problem. It just is weird and insane that you need to do that. And I've been told, you shouldn't unplug and plug headphones, you lower the volume. And I'm like, hey, what are you talking about? And now it actually matters. So, volume down. Let's plug in these 1000Zs. Oh man, the review of these is gonna be spectacular. Mozart. And again, loud at like 10 o'clock. Look how low that is. And at 10 o'clock, these are like producing. Still a quiet song. Still a quiet song. Oof. All right, so it's got the power. It's got the power that you deserve. Is it Jotunheim power? I have a feeling if you push it to those sort of levels, it's not going to be clean at all. But certainly, Mica Origin, SMS-LM3, more power probably than the Aoun X1S. Which is impressive considering that's got an external power and this is just running off of USB. At least it sounds like it does. That's a dirty song. Next. Gorillas. Alright. I don't know what to talk about first. Let's talk about the front first. So, for some reason it's always the HiFiMan Edition S. Or not the Edition S, the, what are you called? Actually, what are you called? You're the Mega Mini. I have piles of them, and I keep pulling this one out. Set this to 30, and now as soon as you plug auxiliary into the front, it takes over. The DAC's still playing. This just isn't playing anything with the computer. It's just playing M83. Hurry Up, We're Dreaming's Where the Boats Go, which is ending right now. Put this up a little more. So you can get a wire, an OTG cable, and plug this into your phone. And this will act as a DAC amp for your phone. If you don't feel like doing that, or you have this dedicated for your desktop, and you have a player or your phone, you can just plug into the front. It'll automatically take over, and now instead of that, you'll hear this. And when you unplug this, you're back to the Gorillas. When you plug it back in, I don't think this gets affected by that slow pull. That's a nice feature. I approve of that. It's got it's a 2-input unit. It's got the DAC input and the analog input. It's fine. This would even work if you bought this for your computer and you have a PlayStation. You can get a FiOD3 DAC, which is fiber optic to RCA left and right, then run a 3.5mm to RCA cable, and then when you plug that in, and you'd again have to plug it in and unplug it to get it to switch, but you could do that, and then this could work for amplifying your console. Whatever you want to put in analog, this will work. I mean, you can get a goddamn record player, run it through a phono preamp, and then plug it in here, and then listen to headphones from your phono preamp. Where the Fulla, other than the quirk of that, no fucking light for whatever reason, these two are the real shining lights amongst all the DAC amps I've tried, because the Origin Plus, which was like my holy grail, which I let someone borrow, and it's not here right now. Shame. Has a pre-out on the back. So you plug in your powered monitors, and if you plug your headphones in the front, then you can flip a switch, and you can go from either headphones or the volume-controlled powered monitors. But if you have a passive setup where it's like Fluence SX6s, and you're using an SA50 or an SA98 or an A2 amp, having a preamp control and another volume control doesn't sit right, doesn't flavor right. Switch to the last set that I haven't used, by the way, because this is the one you gotta check with. So the fact that you now have the option for preamp, so variable output for powered monitors, or full-time, all the time line out for another amp. So I could just line out to my Aris there, turn this down, turn that up, or I could full out to an SA50, I'm listening to headphones, now I'm gonna listen to speakers, turn the volume down, turn the volume up. No choice. You could actually use both, which would be, you'd have to have a very strange scenario to need to use both, but you could use both. That's the one thing that actually in the Origin review that I said, hey, I wish they'd add a switch to do this, to pick pre-out or line-out. Because pre-out is great for powered monitors. You plug them in 3.5mm to XLR, and you can control your powered monitors. But with a standalone amplifier that has its own knob, pre-out is annoying, because then you gotta unplug your headphones, turn this to wherever the hell it is okay, and then start adjusting that. Or you got to adjust that, push it away, and then just adjust with this, and then you lose that flexibility. The only problem that I have with these two is I put it away. I have a 3.5mm to RCA cable that I like to use, a cheap one. And if you look, this is real close to that metal lip. And I go to plug it in and it hits that part. In other words, this wonderful cable from Amazon Basics has got a real small head, so you plug it in there and it barely fits, like shit fits. So anything bigger than that for your 3.5mm, and you're gonna have to get out a razor blade and start shaving plastic off, like I did, to get it to actually fit and seat. Because I plug it in now, here it's working, but it wasn't plugged in enough. I had to like twist it and get it past that lip, and then I realized what the hell was doing that. So I love the feature shit, but trim this fucking metal back. I mean, you could probably take this cover off. It's 2, 3 screws. I don't think this one's holding it, unless it's holding on the inside. And just like get a metal nippers and nip that away. Because it's just, that's annoying. It's so fucking annoying. So plug my wires and just plug. And I don't have another plug. Actually, here, I just use any headphone out. So here, say this is your 3.5 millimeter. I want to plug it in there. It goes, oh, it just barely fits. Actually, I wonder. Because you can plug a headphone out in the front or a headphone out in the back. So what are you going to the? It's a variable. Knife, this is a variable. Let's see how that works. Because this is some people will argue that the lineouts, since they don't go through the extra amplification circuitry of things, usually can be a little bit cleaner, but they don't have the power to really drive. Like, this was blowing these headphones up at like 10 o'clock, and now there's 3 o'clock. And there's full tilt. And it's playing him, it's just not really a benefit. So, how full of shit is this shit full of? Not really that full of shit at all. It's got its issues. Those being too close, no power indicator, that weird bug where you unplug and it shorts out and decides, I don't want to play anymore, I'm freaked out. But it's got good features. It's got line and pre-out. It's got the extra thing for power, which does solve that. You can use it with your phone if you power it with that. The knob, I remember seeing a picture, I think on Reddit, where I'm banned from 2 places, is crooked. It is definitely, it fell over and is closer to this side than that side. And I want to fix it so bad, but I'm giving this away as a gift, and if I break it, I can't give it to him. That's what I do, man. I'm the best gift giver. Enjoy this thing with no lights and that weird quirk. And that. So the knob, I mean, it's a smooth, nice knob. It's just not sitting right. That's the American craftsmanship showing through. I like it. So what, my knob's crooked. I'm full of shit. Hey. Patreon link in the corner. Wallpaper of us in the basement / description. I think you all know about these headphones, except for these. The review for these isn't out yet. It'll come. It will come. Alright, shit. This is a good... I'm waiting for the shit full of 3, which will fix these problems. It'll also probably be the size of my laptop. It's just going to keep getting bigger. I'm hoping that's like just some weird joke that they're pulling off, where it goes from the little tiny one to this one, which is probably 8 times the volume of the original. Like actual space it took up. Someone do the math on that, please. And then the third one will be just like bigger than a K5, FIO K5. Then the fourth one will just be Eris size, until you have to get a hand truck to get it in your room with the same power and features. It'd be great. This over an Origin. All right, before you ask the questions, because I was going to end the review just now, I'm like, people are going to ask if you want to get this over an Origin. And the Origin doesn't have the quirks this has, and has indicators and blinks, but it has weird driver fuck around issues now because Windows 10 Anniversary screwed it up royally. So go to the Microtron website. Now maybe I'll link it. Future Zeos. Link the instructions on how to install the Origin drivers in Windows 10. Because it's fucking hilarious. This did not need any drivers. This is why I'm using this laptop. Because Windows 10 is probably the most current operating system we're all going to be using. Plug it in and it works. So I want to use my Windows 7 machine, which is what I use all my things on. Because basically Windows 7 is superior for audio switcheroo bullshit. It works on there too. It didn't feel like it. So yeah, I mean, flip a coin. Both are going to deliver amazing amounts of awesome and top knobs.